Hey guys, welcome back to my puzzle bubble. So today is a very exciting video. I am going to be showing you everything that went down and how I got on my first ever official speed puzzle competition, the UK Nationals 2025. Oh man, where do I even start with this video? So I think I'll give just a little bit of backstory quickly if you haven't seen any of my previous videos. I have actually been to previous puzzle events. I went to the unofficial Gibson's Championships in Newmarket the last 2 years. I went in 2023 with my mum, and then last year I went in 2024 by myself. But both times I entered this in the past, I had done so in the just for fun category. Even though my mum and I were going as fast as we possibly could, we weren't really racing with the others. We were just there for the vibes and the fun times. And also it was a 1,000-piece puzzle at that event. So it felt more like a casual puzzle marathon versus a chaotic, speedy sprint. The UK Nationals was my very first official in-person speed puzzle competition. And boy, was it quite the eventful day. I, of course, took my camera along and videoed as much as I could throughout the day. So let's jump back in time a little bit to Saturday, the 5th of April, and join a very hopeful and excitable Scarlett on her way to Nationals. So today is Saturday, the 5th of April. It is currently, what is the time? Almost 9 a.m. in the morning, and we are halfway on our way to UK Nationals. I am here with my mum, who is driving. Say hi.
Morning.
It has been, well, it's going to be about a 4-hour journey for us this morning, so it is a long journey. Like I said, we had to leave at about 6 a.m. this morning, and we are halfway there. So yeah, I'm super excited. It is my first ever official speed puzzle competition. Of course, I'm going to be competing in the solo category, and then me and mum will also be competing in the pairs later this afternoon. So we'll be doing 2 puzzles today. So I will say I am a little apprehensive about how my solo round is going to go today. I have no idea what time I'm going to be able to produce in the solo round. Realistically, I'd like to say that I could aim for sub an hour and a half. I don't think I can get below an hour today because I think I'm just going to be too nervous and too out of my own element, because I won't be puzzling in the comfort of my own home. So I just don't think I'm going to be as fast as I can be. It also, of course, very much depends on what comes out of the mystery bag. I'm hoping that it's nothing with a lot of grass. I'm hoping it's nothing that's like...
Or sky.
Oh, I don't mind a sky. Mum just said that she hopes it's not a sky. I don't mind a gradient sky. I just don't like buildings. I don't like grey, brown buildings, things like that. So as long as it's nice and bright and colourful, that would be like my ideal image for sure. When it comes to our time prediction for our pairs round, we honestly have no idea. We've done a few practice puzzles together. I think our fastest time that we managed was around 41 minutes was the fastest we did, but we've also taken as long as an hour before. So honestly, our pairs time could literally be anything.
Under an hour would be good.
Yeah, under an hour for our pairs would be very good. So the sat nav is currently saying we are an hour and 22 away. We allowed way too much time to get there. We're going to arrive way earlier than we should have, but we didn't want to arrive late because that would be the most stressful thing. So we're not too far away now, and we will check in when we get to the venue. We have just arrived at the venue. It is currently 10:30, so we got here half an hour before registration even opens. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I guess we'll see if it's open and they'll let us in. But we are here. It's at this random school. We're in this just random school car park at the moment. Not quite sure where we're supposed to go, but we're here, we made it. So a little bit of information about the venue itself. The competition was being held in Bradford this year, which is a city just outside of Leeds. It's actually in West Yorkshire, and it actually took place in a school of all places. It was Woodhouse Grove School, I believe. And I must say about the venue itself, it was really nice. So we arrived early to the venue, so we did have to wait outside for the doors to officially open at 11 o'clock. Just after 11 a.m, Annika, the founder of the UK JPA, came out and greeted everyone and gave a lovely welcome speech. She was just welcoming us to the event, explaining a little bit about the venue, the layout of everything, the time schedule of the day, and then briefed us on what we would get upon checking in and what we needed to do for that process. So Annika led us into the entrance area of the event, where there was a nice number of volunteers ready and eager to get us registered and checked in. This process was super quick and easy. I had saved the QR code from my confirmation email. They scanned that, they knew immediately who I was, and then they gave us a lanyard, which we had to fill in our own name at the front. So of course I put Scarlet Sky. And we also got given a really cute little UK Nationals pin as well. After I finished registering, we went up the stairs to what I'd call like the main hub area of the day. It had the raffle all set up with all the Ravensburger puzzles as the prizes, and I instantly saw one of my dream wish list puzzles, the 5,000 piece Pokemon one. So of course, Mum and I got a handful of tickets each right away. They had UK JPA merch also available to buy. They had tables set up so that people could puzzle. They had a very cute little photo booth set up. They had a viewing area for the live stream. And of course, there was a Ravensburger pop-up shop, which had 20% off all puzzles on the day. We instantly took advantage of looking around the shop, as we were one of the first to get to it, and I knew that was going to get super busy later on. I was so overwhelmed. I saw so many puzzles that I wanted to buy, including my absolute lifetime dream puzzle, the Disney 40,000 one. Spoiler alert, I didn't end up buying that puzzle, shockingly enough. I went back and forth on a few of them, but in the end I settled on this 500 piece Wicked circular puzzle, and my mum purchased her first circular puzzle too, the Circle of Colours floral design. So after we purchased our puzzles, we basically just explored the rest of the area. We went to this really nice outdoor balcony bit, which was directly off of the main hub. It was such a nice, bright, sunny day. It was almost always packed out here with the tables, but it was nice just to get outside and get some fresh air. And then we also made our way to the spectator balcony, where we got our first proper look at the competition setup. This was also the moment where I realized the sheer scale of this event. I knew that the individuals had sold out, but I had no clue how many people that actually meant until I finally saw it all laid out in front of me, and I started to get very nervous about what I was about to do. And honestly, after what felt like no time at all, we heard that people had started to be let in downstairs into the actual competition hall. So I said my goodbyes to my mum, she wished me luck, and went to go get a good viewing spot on the balcony, and I walked into the hall for my first ever competition. So I found my table, and I was actually incredibly relieved to find out that I was tucked literally as close to the right hand side of the hall as you could possibly get. I don't know how to explain it, but somehow in my mind it just made me marginally less nervous being tucked away to one side of the hall versus being right in the middle, surrounded by a sea of very quick puzzlers. So I got myself situated at my table, I got out my puzzle stand, my phone mount to record the time lapse, and I tied my hair up, got everything ready to go. And then it was just a bit of a waiting game, really. Now that I'm sat here, I'm starting to feel very nervous and out of place. I'm just gonna do my best. Whatever is in this blue bag, I can do it. I can do it. Other competitors started coming in thick and fast. The tables around me started filling up very quickly. But weirdly, all this time I had noticed that the person that I was supposed to be sharing a table with still hadn't arrived. My table mate has not shown up. So I may or may not have an entire table to myself. And I did in fact get a table all to myself. The other person did not show up, and it was nice in a way. I kind of got to spread out a little bit more than others could, but the downside to that was that I didn't have a table buddy to chat to. I want to give a quick shout out to the puzzler behind me, Emma, I believe your name was. Her table partner also had not shown up, and so we got to chatting beforehand, and that was really nice. It was just nice to speak with someone and talk things through. It definitely helped settle my nerves a little bit, so thank you for that if you do happen to be watching this video. Waiting for the solo event to start honestly felt like it took an eternity, and they were a little late getting started. I think they were having some tech issues with getting the live stream up and running, but eventually Annika made her way to the stage to officially kick things off. Annika then just went through the rules of the competition, and she introduced for the first time the puzzle artists for both the solo and the pairs puzzle being used. Now, we did know ahead of the day that the artists were going to be at the event, but we had no clue as to who they were going to be. So the artist for the solo round was Georgia Breeze, and the artist for the pairs round later in the day was Stuart Matthews. And after a quick little introduction, it was time for Georgia to officially start the solo round of the competition.
Okay, good luck everyone. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh my goodness, it is busy, it is busy, it is busy. It is very, very busy image, oh my goodness. So let's talk about the puzzle choice for the solo category. The puzzle selected was Time for Tea. And yeah, you could hear from my panicked voice just then. My initial thoughts were, holy cow, this puzzle is so busy. It's just basically a whole lot of different teacups and teapots, which is very quintessentially British. I can see why they selected this for the first ever UK Nationals for sure. But boy oh boy, this is just not the kind of puzzle I was expecting to pop out of the bag. So I had my moment of pure panic, didn't really know what to do, but I just thought to myself, edges. I can at least pull the edges, that will get some. I just had to start moving my hands somehow and do something. So I started flipping, pulling out the edge pieces, and as I was doing so, I did also notice the bright red, particularly of this teapot down here. And then I also weirdly picked out this blue kind of swirled texture. There's actually two, there's a sugar pot and a teapot. So I pulled out that texture first as well. Also, I wanted to ask you watching this, are you a seated or standing speed puzzler? Because I heard this debate going on in the live stream afterwards. I personally have to stand when I speed puzzle. I feel like it just somehow gives me more urgency to my movements. It makes my hands move faster for some reason. And I also do like having that kind of bird's eye view of all of my pieces. And the answer is yes, my back did ache during this. But considering this is also how I practice at home, my muscles have kind of got used to this crazy, awful posture. So getting back to the puzzle, after I finished my initial flip and sort, which was around the 5-minute mark, I realized that I hadn't pulled out that many pieces of a color or texture. So what did I decide to do? The edges, of course. It was the only thing I felt like I could get done at the start there, when everything was just an overwhelming sea of different colors and textures. Now, it wasn't until the competition had finished and I was speaking to other puzzlers, and also when I rewatched the live stream at home, that I realized just how few people actually started with the edge on this one. A lot of people chose to jump into assembling teapots straight away. I think a lot of people were initially put off by how white the border of this puzzle looked, but when you do study it a little closer, I knew it would take me a little longer to get done, but I also could see that there was a lot of teacup colors around the border too. So it was just a case of putting them together, finding their spots on the 4 sides, and there was only maybe like a small handful of just pure white pieces to fill in the gaps at the end there. From the live stream, you can see in the first 5 minutes of the competition, we have Janie Drury is choosing to start with the red teapots, not starting with the edge. Again, a very common strategy. And also puzzling at table number 1, we have Emma Quirk, who is also choosing to start with the teapots and already has a varied selection put together. If her name seems a little familiar to you, that's because Emma was at Worlds last year and she finished 33rd overall in the solo finals. So yeah, we are gonna wanna keep an eye on her progress. We can also see at the 12-minute mark into the live stream, SJ has also started making islands of teacups, and her table partner, Sarah Mills, also is choosing to do the exact same strategy. Sarah Mills is another well-known name in the UK speed puzzling scene. She actually attended and won the solo category at the Gibson's Championships the last 10 years in a row. Now, at that competition, it was of course a 1,000-piece puzzle, but if she can complete one of them in just 1 hour, 18 minutes, we are going to want to keep an eye on just how fast she's going to get through a 500-piece puzzle. Checking back in with my progress at this point, around the 13.5-minute mark, I had the edge pretty much finished and jumped straight into anything red basically. I would also like to apologize for how badly I set up my overhead camera mount throughout this. I thought I had captured the part where I would actually be puzzling, but clearly I was a little off in my calculations, as you can't see the far left of the puzzle at all during this. But of course I was so focused on speed, I didn't realize until right at the very end. Apologies, I'm still very new to puzzle YouTube things. So my strategy from this point out was the same as everyone else, I'm guessing. It was just putting out different patterns and colors and just intensely studying that box over and over again to try and find which pot or cup the pieces belong to, and just creating the little islands throughout. Jumping to the 21-minute mark, you can see that Ruby Lavender is the first person I've seen on the live stream that actually went for the edges, just like I did. Actually, if you compare her teacup islands to the ones that I went for at the start as well, there's a lot of similarities. Clearly our eyes work in very similar ways, but she's certainly got more pieces located than I do. As well as starting with red, I then moved on to blue patterns, in particular the very dark navy shades of the teacups and a few random floral ones I managed to find homes for as well. This was where I was at the 25-minute mark, and let's just compare that to Sarah Mills's progress at the same point. And whoa, look at just how many different teacups and pots she has assembled. Even though she doesn't have the edge together, so much of that middle section is already joining up to one another. But I just kept on studying and studying that box, trying to get familiar with the image and just placing as many different pieces as I could. At this point, the nerves had completely gone too. I had fully settled into my speedy mode. So this is how much progress I'd made at the half-an-hour mark. And on the live stream, we can see Emma Quirk at the exact same point with almost a completely finished puzzle. I am in complete shock as to how she found all the teacups so quickly. She is just an absolute speed demon. 5 minutes later, you can actually see a really nice side-by-side comparison between Emma and Sarah Mills, the current 1,000-piece individual champion. And they are somewhat close in their progress, but it's clear to see at this point that Emma does have a lead with more pieces placed in her puzzle. At 38 minutes, we can see Nia Marvin's progress for the first time, and she too has a vast majority of the large teapots and cups assembled and is also well on her way to finishing. Now, checking back in on my progress around this time, I admit it felt very slow going. It just felt like I was forever finding new patterns to try and locate and place, and I didn't feel like I was making quick work of this puzzle at all. I had managed to connect a few of the central islands there in the middle, as you can see, but I still have a lot of empty space left to fill. It was at this point as well, as focused in as I was, I could start hearing a lot more commotion going on. I could sense some camera shutters going off in the distance in the hall, and I just got the sense that someone was getting very close to finishing. And at this time, if you refer to the live stream, you'll see that my instinct was right. We can see that Emma Quirk at the 40-minute mark is on the home stretch and only has a handful of pieces left to place. A massive congratulations to Emma Quirk, who has become the UK's first official national puzzle champion in a crazy impressive time of 41 minutes and 55 seconds. Wow, oh my goodness. Insane, insane. Oh God, how does one do that? So when the first finisher came in, I didn't look up from my puzzle. I had no idea who had won in the moment. I just knew I needed to keep my focus on the puzzle. And you can see that this is my progress when Emma won the round. I still had maybe around half of the puzzle left to complete. Back to the live stream, we get to see our first look at table 105, which is Rachel Chambers, a completely unknown name in the speed puzzling community, but she also has most of her puzzle completed. We then get to see a side-by-side comparison of both her and Sarah Mills, and you can see that their puzzle progress is almost identical. The race for those second and third place spots was well and truly underway. And it is Rachel Chambers that claims second place in a time of 48 minutes and 33 seconds. And if you're wondering why you haven't heard that name before, that's because this is Rachel's first ever speed puzzling competition, and she got second place. We most certainly know your name now, Rachel. That was a crazy impressive finish, and spoiler alert, we will be hearing Rachel's name again before the day is through. And 2 minutes after her, Sarah Mills finishes up her puzzle to take third place in 50 minutes and 59 seconds. Another amazing time. 3 minutes later, Nia Marvin takes the fourth place spot, although her finish was missed on the live stream. She finished at 53 minutes exactly. Charlotte Kirby Thompson took fifth spot with 58 minutes and 31 seconds. Again, her finish was also missed on the live stream, and just 11 seconds later, Ruby Lavender takes sixth place. And now the finishers start to come in pretty consistently, with Janie Drury taking seventh in a time of 59 minutes and 4 seconds, and Kieran Prutz just missing the hour mark, finishing in 1 hour and 2 seconds to take eighth place. Samantha Capel takes ninth at 1 hour and 23 seconds. Even though for some reason on the leaderboard they have her down as finishing at the same time as 10th, I think this must just be an error in the data entering. As you can see here, Nikki Thomas rounds off the top 10 at 1 hour, 1 minute and 33 seconds. Congrats to all of those finishes. My mum was trying to capture some of the people that were finishing with the camera from the spectator balcony, but as you can see, the competition was facing away from the balcony, which meant that everyone watching could only see the backs of the puzzlers, and therefore it was difficult for everyone to see just how many pieces each person had left to place.
Where was that? Where's that? There.
I do wish that the competition could have been set up that it was actually facing the balcony. I know that means that the stage would have been blocked from view, but then the spectators could have had a better view of the puzzle competition in general, I think. But I'm guessing there was some logistical reason why it was set up the way it was, maybe because of how the stage and the live stream, all the technical stuff had to be laid out. Who knows? So now that we've seen the super speedy puzzlers finish, let's check back in to my progress during this time frame. You can see from the time Emma won at 41 minutes to the time that 10th place did at just over the hour mark, I've made a lot more progress, with everything now connecting nicely within my puzzle. I have the bigger pots mostly done too at this point. It's just a few gaps to keep filling in, and it was around this point that I felt like I was finally starting to move faster with my hands. There were just less pieces to sift through each time, less empty spots to have to keep checking on the box, and progress finally felt like it was being made. Side note, watching this footage back, I realized just how much I puzzle one-handed, using pretty much only my right one to pick and place. I really need to work on utilizing my left hand more for extra speed going forward. I could hear people finishing constantly around me whilst I was puzzling, but I just kept my head down, kept my focus locked in. I knew that I was starting to reach that home stretch. The closer I got to finishing up, the faster my hands felt like they were moving as well.
I think she's nearly done. She's going through. Yay! Well done!
And there you have it. I finished my puzzle in a very respectable time of 1 hour, 13 minutes and 19 seconds. You can see just how relieved I am to have finished, followed by complete shock as to how many people were still puzzling around me. It was a little harder to judge how many people had already finished, considering I was tucked all the way to one side of the hall, but I could pretty confidently see that I had finished in the top half of all puzzlers, which was one of my main goals going into the weekend. I finished. I was absolutely ecstatic with that finishing time for me. I mean, I know from my training videos that I can actually break that 1 hour mark, but as soon as I saw that this was the puzzle I had to complete, I knew sub 1 hour was not going to be possible with this one. So after finishing the puzzle, we had to keep as quiet as we could as to not disturb the people that were still puzzling around us. So I had a little bit of time. I just took in the fact that I had completed my first puzzle competition ever. I got some pictures taken, and then before I knew it, it was time to dismantle the puzzle so I could leave the hall and meet back up with my mum. Immediately after I finished the puzzle, Mum let me know that Georgia Breeze, the puzzle artist for this image, was already upstairs and signing the puzzle boxes. It was my first time speaking with a puzzle artist, which was an insanely cool opportunity to have. And she was just so genuinely invested in how I had gotten on with her puzzle. I was very honest with her. I pointed out which bits I found easy and which spots gave me a little more trouble. And you could tell she really wanted to know every single detail. And she said that she liked my puzzle top and puzzle nails, which I had done specifically for the competition. I had a few people ask me about my puzzle vest actually, so I just wanted to quickly add here. The top is actually from Zara. So I got Georgia Breeze to sign her own puzzle box. I snapped a quick selfie with her, and then it was time for a much needed rest and refuel ahead of the pairs competition. There was this little cafe that was just across the car park from where the puzzle competition was ongoing, and it was really nice to sit and chill out in there, chat with other puzzlers, and they also had the live stream up on a big screen, so we could watch that while we ate some lunch. After we had fully recharged ourselves, we wandered back across to the main hub area, and we actually managed to catch the very end of the live stream. The time limit for the individual round was 2.5 hours. I want to give another shout out to this competitor here. The deadline was fast approaching, and all the people spectating in this area were willing you on with all of our might, but she ended with just a tiny handful of pieces left right at the end there. And that about wraps up the individual competition for the first ever UK Nationals, and I can officially reveal that out of 172 participants, my time was good enough to get me 33rd place. That not only put me in the top half of all competitors, it actually landed me in the top quarter. Even more specifically, in the top 20% somehow. I am very, very happy with that finish for my first ever speed puzzling competition event. I channeled my inner Karen Puzzles and put all of the finishers' data into this graph, and you can see Emma's winning time here really stands out. She beat second place by a solid 7 minutes. After that, the finishers started coming in pretty steadily from here, but with only 7 people managing to complete this puzzle in under 1 hour. Then the largest amount of puzzlers, 77 people, finished between the 1 hour and 90-minute mark. My time was also solidly in the middle of this somewhere too. 50 puzzlers finished after 90 minutes but got in under the 2-hour mark. And 23 more participants finished up the puzzle in the final half an hour of the competition. And only 15 people did not complete it within the deadline, meaning that over 90% of all people managed to finish this puzzle. I also sat and worked out the average time from all the finishers, and that worked out to be 1 hour, 32 minutes and 1 second. Which means that I officially get to call myself a faster than average speed puzzler. But a massive well done to everyone that participated in the solo category. This puzzle was not an easy one to complete by any means. And now the day is only half done because we now get to move on to the pairs competition. So there was a little bit of time waiting around for the pairs round to actually start because the volunteers, who all did an outstanding job all day long, I just have to add, they had to go around and lay out all the new mystery puzzles on the tables yet again.
We are waiting for the pairs competition to start. How are you feeling about the pairs puzzle?
It'll be fine.
It will. I'm much more relaxed for the pairs puzzle. Now that the individual's done and dusted, I feel much more chill. And now we can just relax and have fun.
As long as the puzzle isn't as difficult as the circles.
And before we knew it, it was time for Mum and I to enter the competition hall together this time to find our new table allocation.
We have to find table 23. Oh, table 19, 20, 1, 2, 3.
And yeah, for some strange reason, we were placed really, really close to the front on this round, which was wildly intimidating because the front tables, from what I could tell, were kind of reserved from people who had ranked well at previous competitions, and so they were also expected to perform well today. And then there was us, pairs competition newbies. I think we just so happened to be one of the first non-seeded pairs to sign up to the event, which meant that we found ourselves sharing a table with Nia Marvin, who had placed 4th earlier in the day in the solo round, and her mum Justine. Behind Mum just so happened to be Emma Quirk, you know, the current reigning solo national champion, and her pairs partner Darren. And then on our diagonal table were Nikki and Pete, who we recognised from the Newmarket Championships, as they are the current pairs champion from that event. So yeah, we happened to find ourselves swimming amongst a sea of very, very fast puzzlers, and needless to say, we felt wildly out of our depth. Regardless, we got ourselves situated and waited around for some raffle prizes to be handed out, and then the pairs competition could finally get underway, with this time Stuart Matthews, the artist of the puzzle we were about to see for the first time, kicking things off.
All right, guys, I think we're ready. Jason, are we ready?
Ready?
Thumbs up.
We can do
Pairs,
it.
are you guys ready?
Yeah, we're ready. Let's go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, puzzle!
Can't get into it. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, it is a busy, busy image.
Oh my goodness.
Sort reds, pink and rainbow for sure. Start getting edges for sure.
Okay, let's take a closer look at the puzzle choice for the pairs competition. It's called Crazy Street No. 1, The Harbour. And like I said, the artist is Stuart Matthews. This is Stuart's first ever puzzle design, and what a way to start, having your first ever design selected for the biggest puzzle competition in the UK. The puzzle itself is this crazy, quirky cartoon design. It is very bright and colourful, which I was thankful for, but my eyes immediately saw just how many small little details there were hidden throughout this image, and I knew we were in for another busy puzzle solve. So as you heard, my eyes, and just about everyone else's I'm guessing, instantly picked out the red of the boats in the bottom left hand corner of the puzzle here. So as Mum and I got to work flipping over our pieces, we pulled out the red, but also the pink of the donut cart and flag windmill too, as well as the rainbow pieces. At around 4 minutes in, we had enough flipped over. Mum was just finishing the last few pieces that I delegated myself to the edge and gave her the red pieces to work on. We also found that rather than one of us puzzling upside down, like you'll see a lot of the pairs doing, neither of us particularly liked or was good at doing this, so we opted for the side-on puzzle view instead, as we found that we got our fastest times using this method. I also wasn't standing for this round either. I puzzled seated for once. Honestly, by this point in the afternoon, my energy was really starting to fade. I'd been up since 5 AM, had very little sleep the night before, and just didn't feel like standing up for another hour or so. Now, during this solo round, because I was tucked really nicely to one side of the hall, I wasn't featured at all on the live stream. But this time, because we were pretty much front and center, we got featured on the live stream a lot more. So yeah, the live stream featured us pretty early on, around the 9-minute mark into this round. You can see me just getting that edge put in place. The sky at the top was certainly the trickiest part of the border for me, and then Mum was working on those red boats. You can see from others in the live stream too that in that first 10 minutes, pretty much every table we see is starting on the edge with this one, as it's just so bright and busy, the complete opposite to the very white border from the solo round puzzle, as well as we see people jumping into those red coloured boats and some pink as well. I finished up with the edge with one piece missing at about 11 minutes in, and Mum was still working her way through the reds, so I jumped into the pink of the donut truck. Mum eventually felt like she'd had enough of the reds and moved on to the yellows of the signs and the windows too. I feel like we work best when Mum puts together these little sections, and then I'm a bit better at taking those sections and finding their orientation and place within the puzzle as a whole. A little side tangent here too for a second. I would just like to mention the puzzler Jennifer, who was by far the best dressed at this puzzle competition. She was wearing a ball gown to the event, and she's actually wearing a ball gown every single day of 2025, and she's doing so to bring awareness for children with autism. Amazing work, Jennifer. You looked incredible, and good luck with the rest of your year. At 23 minutes in, we get our first view of Nikki and Pete, who, as I mentioned, are the current pairs champions from the Gibson's Newmarket event, and they have made very quick work of this puzzle so far. They have all the red, pink and yellow sections solidly completed already. This was our progress around that same point in the competition. We pretty much only have the red and pink sections finished and placed. I might pick out green then actually. So then I started to pull out the green colours, which there was a lot of varied shades of green within this image, so that kept me busy for a little while. Again, I really wish I had a slightly more zoomed out video of our time lapse. Apologies, you can't see the whole of this puzzle yet again. I think what I've learned for next time is to use the wider camera lens on the back of my phone instead of my front-facing camera like I did this time, so in future competitions it can capture our progress better. So during the 25-minute and half an hour mark, we get lots of different shots of tables from all around the hall, but rather annoyingly, we don't get a single glimpse at Sarah Mills and her pairs partner Claire Hayes at all. Sarah Mills, remember, placed third in the solo round earlier in the day, and it's only after they become the first pair to finish this puzzle that we finally see them on the live stream. So a massive congratulations to Sarah and Claire for becoming the pairs national champion in a time of 30 minutes and 42 seconds.
Oh my God, nice.
Impressive.
Jesus.
That made me jump.
You can hear our absolute shock at just how fast that finishing time felt to us. But this is where we were when Sarah and Claire won the round. Maybe a third of the puzzle completed, if I'm being very generous here. We still have a long way to go. At 34 minutes into the live stream, we get to see Verena and Karen, who actually are from Austria and came over to the UK to participate, getting ready to finish up their puzzle too. As far as I'm aware, the competition is open to anyone of any nationality to sign up, but to claim one of the cash prizes, which are the top 3 spots, you have to be from the UK, obviously. And it's while the stream is focusing on them, with merely a handful of pieces left to place, that we hear a distant clap in the background of another unknown team sneaking under the radar to take second place spot.
Just having a... Oh, we've got a different table in the back.
And just 24 seconds after second place, and after some very frantic searching for the missing piece that was left in the bag, it's Verena and Karen that claim the 3rd fastest pairs time of the day at 35 minutes and 12 seconds. But as I mentioned, they can't officially take the 3rd place spot, so that is still up for grabs. And who was that unknown puzzler that just beat them out to take second place? Why, of course, it was none other than the absolute breakout star of the weekend, Rachel Chambers, who had placed second in the solo round as well, and her pairs partner, Sammy Stoney, who finished up this puzzle in 34 minutes and 48 seconds. Now, what's even more impressive about that finish is that Rachel and Sammy only met on the day and had never ever puzzled together before. Now, after Rachel and Sammy had taken second spot and Verena and Karen had unofficially taken third, the 4th fastest time but the official 3rd spot position ended up going to SJ and Dan, who again were missed by the live stream, but they finished the puzzle in 35 minutes and 54 seconds. Now, SJ actually jumped onto the live stream to commentate shortly after her puzzle finish, which means that we get this super cool opportunity to hear her live reaction to finding out that Dan and her had taken the 3rd place spot.
Yes! Oh my god! Woohoo! SJ just found out she got 3rd. Congratulations! I'm sorry, I'm freaking out.
And this was our progress after those top 3 spots had been claimed. We have a few more floating islands of pieces, but maybe have around half of the puzzle left to complete. Back to some live stream footage, we have Charlotte and Zach, who take 5th place spot in 37 minutes and 10 seconds, just managing to beat out the solo champ Emma and her pairs partner Darren, who takes 6th this time, just 15 seconds later. In 7th place was Graham and Jodie Parker, whose finish was also missed on the live stream, but they completed the puzzle in 39 minutes and 2 seconds. And then we have Nikki and Pete, the Gibson's pair champs, finishing in 8th spot in 39 minutes and 29 seconds. And then Alex Hafford and Janie Jury taking 9th spot just 24 seconds after them. And the final spot in the top 10 was taken by none other than our table mates, Nia Marvin and her mum, Justine. We could feel them absolutely flying through the puzzle beside us at lightning speed, and I'm so pleased they got a top 10 finish at 40 minutes and 32 seconds. Well done.
Well done.
So you can directly see our current progress once the top 10 finishers had come in. We are still chugging along, definitely over that halfway point now, but still nowhere close to being done. Now that we'd done kind of all the big blocks of bright colours, we were just picking up random pieces and finding their home amongst the crazy busyness of Crazy Street. It was kind of hard to spot what things were what, with so much going on in the image, and I just wanted to share this clip of me getting thoroughly confused, trying to find what I thought was a tree. Am I blind? It was these 2 pieces I had placed together pretty early on and spent ages trying to search for before Mum finally pointed out it was actually the bottom of the large yellow sign, which I had totally missed. There was in fact no tree at all. But regardless of that, we slowly started to get to grips with the puzzle more. We moved on to the brown of the buildings, the brickwork and the gingerbread men, which actually covered a lot more of the puzzle than I first realized. And again, it was around this time that people were finishing constantly around us, with us hearing cheers and celebrations what felt like every minute or so. I knew the pairs round would feel extra speedy compared to the solos, but honestly, everyone finished just so much faster than both my mum and I were even expecting. It's incredible just how many pairs got this puzzle completed in under 1 hour. Amazingly impressive. We kept finding those different colours and textures, filling in the puzzle gaps as best we could, as that elusive 1 hour mark edged closer and closer. Ready? Last piece. Be done with it. Pause time. Oh, under an hour. Oh, yes, let's go. And this time we had the live stream on us to capture us finishing this puzzle in a time of 58 minutes and 12 seconds. Now, I just want to say that my mum did amazingly on this puzzle with me. She is very, very much a casual puzzler and doesn't really enjoy going for speed that much at all. But she is just the absolute best mum ever for agreeing to come with me on an 8-hour round trip to compete at nationals. But I think you can see from this clip here just how mentally exhausting she found the whole experience. And yeah, even though this puzzle is extremely busy, it's a different kind of busyness when compared to the solo round puzzle. And the more time we spent completing this, the more I really grew to love this image. So we then took some time with the puzzle just to relax and take in all the enjoyment of being done with speed puzzling for the day. We had some pictures taken with the puzzle, and then this time I gave my mum the honours of dismantling it. Then we absolutely had to go upstairs to where Stuart Matthews was signing copies of his puzzle. Again, it was really nice to get the opportunity to speak with the artist directly. He too really wanted to know how we had found his puzzle and what bits we liked or found more challenging. He signed our box for us, we got another quick picture with him as well, and then it was time to get a little bit of fresh air. What a beautiful sunny day it has been to be indoors and puzzle all day. Why is it always when I go to a puzzle event or something, it always seems to be really, really sunny weather? It's absolutely glorious out here today. After that, we did go back into the hall to the spectator balcony actually, where I had barely spent any time that day, so that we could watch and cheer on all the other puzzlers who were still finishing up. The time limit for the pairs round was 2 hours, so they had half an hour less than the solo round. And I just want to say that everyone that took part did an amazing job. Speed puzzling is much trickier than it looks.
I have to explain. Woo. 3, 2, 1, Whoa! Congratulations, puzzlers.
And with that final countdown, that concludes all the speed puzzling of the day. I was a little disappointed that there wasn't a teams event to participate in, like they do at Worlds. I'm guessing it's because this was the first ever UK national event. Even though they did sell out the individuals, the pairs round, as far as I'm aware, did not sell out. They actually had people still signing up to that round on the day. And obviously the more people you introduce, the harder it is to coordinate. It's very hard to find a 4-person puzzle team. But if the opportunity had have presented itself, I'm sure Mum and I would have jumped at the chance to team up with another pair and do yet another puzzle. Maybe next year, fingers crossed. Okay, so let's get back to the stats of the pairs round. And this time there was only 161 pairs that were puzzling, and Mum and I's time was good enough to land us 48th place. We had somehow managed to crack that top 50, and our time also placed us in the top 1/3 of all finishers, and we were really, really pleased with that. So let's look at the chart from this round too, and you can see that everything is just a lot faster and closer together than the solos were. This time there were 9 pairs that managed to finish in under 40 minutes. Incredibly impressive. And then 44 pairs got done after 40 minutes but under that 1 hour mark, with Mum and I's time just managing to make this cut-off too. Between 1 hour and 1 hour 20, there were another 45 pairs that finished up, and then a further 29 that got completed within the 1 hour 20 and 1 hour 40 bracket. 18 more pairs managed to get this puzzle done and dusted in the final 20 minutes of the competition, and 16 pairs did not complete the puzzle under the deadline in this round. That also gives this puzzle a 90% completion percentage overall. I once again worked out the average finishing time for this round as well, and this time it worked out to be 1 hour, 9 minutes and 59 seconds, which means that once again, Mum and I can call ourselves slightly faster than average speed puzzlers when it comes to puzzling together. I am so pleased with my times and finishes in both rounds. Besides the puzzling, of course, the most fun aspect for me personally was just getting to chat and connect with other puzzle enthusiasts. I got to meet Vicky of Vicky Makes and Builds here on YouTube, someone I have followed online for quite a while now. I also got the chance to speak with Chris of Hobby Mad Dad, who, just like myself, has started making puzzle videos on YouTube this year. So I'm actually going to link his channel in the description down below if you wanted to check out and support another brand new UK-based puzzle content creator. Besides that, I had several people, viewers of my channel here on YouTube, come up and introduce themselves to me and say hello, which was just so cool and yet so strange at the same time. I just want to say a massive thank you if we did get the chance to meet. It was one of the highlights of my day for sure. Also, shout out to the lovely Tasmin, who clearly has impeccable taste in puzzle fashion as well. Mum and I both will be attending the Gibson's Championships in Newmarket in June, so I really hope that I can see some more familiar faces at that event now as well. And I know after posting this video, I might get a few comments asking me about whether I'm planning on attending the World Championships in Spain. And unfortunately, the answer is sadly no, I will not be attending. Financially, I just can't make it work this year, unfortunately. The whole event is lasting a week, I believe. It just seems to get longer and longer each year. And even though I have got much faster at speed puzzling, I still feel like I have a long ways to go to get up to world's level. But I will definitely keep practicing, and maybe next year, who knows? So now that we had finished puzzling and chatting with our new friends, it was time for the award ceremony. First up was the pairs prizes, and even though they couldn't take the official third place, Verena and Karen still got called up on the stage for a mention and both received some puzzles as their unofficial prize. And then we have SJ and Dan receiving their official third place and taking home £100 prize money alongside their puzzle piece shaped medals. Then the pair that had met for the first time earlier that very day, Rachel Chambers and Sammy Stoney, took second place, getting a £250 prize. And finally, the National Pairs Champions, Sarah Mills and Claire Hayes, get to not only take home this amazing puzzle trophy, but also £500 prize money to split between them. And then for the prizes for the solo round, Sarah Mills gets straight back on stage again to take third place this time. The breakout star of the weekend, Rachel Chambers, gets second place again. Considering this is her first ever speed puzzle competition, I can't wait to see how well she does at future events. And the fastest puzzler in the UK, our first ever national champion, we have Emma Quirk taking home that first place trophy. She absolutely smashed this competition out of the park. I really hope she's going to Worlds again this year, and I will be enthusiastically cheering her on from home if she does so. And that's it. With all the prizes given out, that was the end of Nationals 2025. Oh, and no, I did not win anything from the raffle on the day, but weirdly, I did end up winning something. Remember that little photo booth area that I showed you? Well, there was a sign next to it saying that if you upload your pictures to Instagram and tag Ravensburger, you could enter with a chance to win a £50 puzzle voucher. And guess what? A few days after the competition, I got a message on Instagram telling me that I'd won this, and so now I have £50 to spend on the Ravensburger online store. I haven't bought anything yet, but I can't wait to do so. Thank you for watching this video, especially if you made it to this point right at the very end. I already know before I edit this, it's going to be a very, very long one, so I hope you enjoyed my recap of the day. I've certainly caught the speed puzzling bug, and I'm already looking forward to Nationals in 2026. I hope everyone else that attended had just as much fun, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye guys!